Happy Halloween, my weekend warriors, and welcome into episode number 51 of the Weekendology podcast. Weekendology is the only podcast with the hottest takes, the best talking points, and the stories to spark your weekend conversations. So for everything related to all the best topics from music, movies, sports, food, and more, we've got you covered. I'll be your ghoulish guide, Will Deishley, alongside the Crypt Keeper himself, Aaron Berg. Happy Halloween, Aaron. How are you on this eve before Halloween? Ooh. Got the whole Michael Jackson intro then for Thriller going on there.
Oh, don't make me start breaking out the Thriller dance.
Oh, you should break out the Thriller dance. That would be amazing. If we were on video, just doing the whole,
I'm saving it for video. When we get video, that will happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready for Halloween.
I am very ready for Halloween as well.
Weekend Halloween
on a Saturday this year.
Yep.
Full moon is coming soon. It's going to be one crazy time. So
can it get better?
It can't get better.
No, it can't get better because...
Well, it can.
It'd be nice if we could have more people at our parties.
It would be. But small get-together for the Halloween party.
We're still doing it, though. We're still celebrating.
We still got our costumes figured out. What's your costume for this year, Aaron?
I am a munchkin.
You are a munchkin.
Yes.
What's different from that from any other time of the day for you? Gotcha. Bad joke.
I'll have a lollipop. That's what's different.
That's true.
Lollipop.
Don't be luring any people over to the sewers or something or whatever. But
that's not what munchkins do.
Well, what was that? What did that Pennywise do that or something in It? He's like,
well, that's
hey,
a clown.
Georgie. I know. Kind of look like a clown. Munchkins do, sort of.
No.
They got weird dresses and hair and everything.
No. Munchkins are closer to leprechauns. I'll give you that.
Oh, well, watch out for leprechauns.
And munchkins are good.
I mean, I'm just saying
they make Dorothy see the yellow brick road.
Halloween brings out some weird stuff in all of us. So.
Munchkins are good people, man.
All right.
I trust them.
Well, I'm going to be a fireman this year, and I'm looking forward to...
sexy fireman?
Yeah, some sexy, smoldering firemen.
Are you you're not going to wear the shirt, just do the suspenders?
I don't think anybody wants to see me without a shirt on, so...
You've been working out?
Kind of, but still not there with that... I've got, like, half of a dad bod instead of the full dad bod.
Hey, I mean, winter's coming, so winter is
summer
coming. Bodies are made winter. So
that is true. I got to up the fitness game for next year. And
you got it.
I got this. Well, we want to thank all of our returning listeners this week for joining us again. And if you're new to the show, welcome. This show's all about changing, improving, and making things better as we cover all the best topics from around the pop culture and the sports world. Our Halloween special is brought to you by the Big Red World. Go check them out. They've got some great podcasts like The House That Rick Built and Six Drunk, One Sober.
And their Halloween podcast.
As well. They're up on Twitter at Big Red Social, and their website is bigredworld.org. Be sure to go check out our webpage on the Big Red World's website to keep up with all of our latest episodes, social handles, and even blogs about our latest content. And go show your love for those as well by following our social handles to keep up with everything that's changing in the world. Our main Twitter is at Weekendology Pod, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And for everything sports related, go check out at Weekendology Sports. That's WKNDOLOGY Sports.
Got the baseball episode up on there.
Baseball episode is up on there. Last week we did a What's Changing in the Minor Leagues for Baseball. So go check that episode out. And if you want to check out anything related to entertainment, check us out at Weekendology Ent or ENT. As a little plug there for Aaron.
I always think of the trees from Lord of the Rings when you say Ent.
I do too. So.
Oh, do you? Good.
I do, yes. Okay. That's the first thing that popped in my head when you said, well, why don't you do Weekendology Ent?
Good. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength now.
Of course.
I thought I was the nerdy one here.
Nah, you're not the only one. I'm a super nerd.
Just
so.
Carrion, Mary, and Pippin.
And for those of you who don't have Twitter, you can go check out our Facebook page as well. We're at Weekendology Podcast. Facebook might get a little scary around this time of year, especially with the election coming up. So
scariest time of year on Facebook.
It is the scariest time of year on Facebook.
It's very spooky.
So be careful for all of the stuff that you venture out and watch or see.
So you're a Facebooker.
I am a Facebooker.
I'm not. So
I am a.
What's it like this week? Give me some insight.
I haven't been on Facebook too much this week, but we're gearing up for November 3rd, and
so you've been staying away?
I've been trying to stay away.
That's what I would do. I mean, you know what to expect every year. I would just know.
But whenever I post an Instagram photo, it automatically posts to Facebook, and I can't figure out how to change that. So I get notifications on my Facebook. I'm like, why does this keep happening? And so I go on there to look at notifications. Then I'm like scrolling through and I'm like, it's too much Facebook for me. So I'm gonna just stick to Weekendology page and stay away from the rest of it. So
the good old family members that just have to share their political opinions with you.
Yeah, it's all over the place. So check us out on Facebook though if you really want to keep up with us over there. But
it's fun.
Twitter is where it's at.
That is the only place you have to go on Facebook.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Just the Weekendology.
Just
page.
Weekendology. And as you listen to this week's episode, make sure to hit that rate and comment, subscribe on the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening to. Really helps us keep the lights on and show your support for the podcast too. We couldn't do a Halloween special without you. So yes, we need lights. We got to keep the lights on around here, Aaron. So we're moving on towards our pick of the week. What's your pick of the week this week, Aaron?
You're going to like this one.
Oh, am I going to like it?
You ready?
I'm ready.
You want to know what it is? Drum
no.
roll, please.
Okay. Go.
Mandalorian.
Oh,
Season
Mandalorian
2.
Season 2.
Yeah, I am
What's
ready.
up?
Yep, get ready. This is the way.
I am so excited for that show to come back.
I broke down, if you listen to the old school episode, I don't know what it was, but I was saying I wasn't going to get Disney Plus. I wasn't into The Mandalorian. I wasn't into Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. I'm all in now. That's great. I went back and I rewatched the old school Star Wars, so that was great too. Have you done that recently? Have you watched like the 70s and 80s Star Wars?
I mean, I've seen them like a year ago, so I've seen them like
that's recent
15
enough.
times each. So I think I've.
But if you watch them, and then go watch The Mandalorian, there's so many references.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Truly watch it in true chronological order as to when everything happened. So I assume it's like the prequels.
Oh, like start with the prequels.
Yeah, and then
that'd be interesting.
The movies.
It's kind of weird though, because you can tell it was made in a different era.
Yeah.
So it'd be like. Ooh,
but I want to see like everything from start to finish in true chronological order.
Yeah, it's just strange though, because you're like, oh, I'm watching stuff from the 2000s. Oh, now it's 70s, and they got like, I love how they have 70s haircuts.
I know they do,
and it's like supposed to be in the future.
Yeah,
but then it's like and the technology. It's hilarious.
It's
making
funny
me laugh.
though. But I know Mandalorian. It's kind of awkward as to when the Mandalorian takes place, but I assume it's after the Empire falls.
It is,
we don't
yeah.
know.
I figured it out when I was watching the first season.
How long after is it that it takes place, though, after the first trilogy?
It's a while. I don't know the exact time frame, but I know it's a while after, because there's none of the, there's like Jawas and stuff, like kind of those types of characters, but there's no like, Han Solo's not coming out, or Lando, or any of those old school guys.
Well, I'm really excited for season 2. Another Baby Yoda season coming up. I love Baby Yoda.
You do.
It's the cutest little damn thing in the world.
I can see why. I get it now. I've
so
seen the light.
Cute.
Will.
I need my own Baby Yoda. Just chill out with, and he can force push, my drinks over to me. Yeah, little Baby Yoda. That's our alien voice for it. But
because he's an alien, right?
He's an alien, yes. But yeah, I'm all for that too.
I'm ready.
I would pick Mandalorian season 2, but you picked that, so I'm gonna pick another podcast that sticks to the Halloween theme of Spooked Podcast. Is just another kind of horror podcast where people just read stories off and regale ghost encounters and weird things that happened and very creepy stuff that has happened in their lives. So it's a pretty good podcast.
Are you going to get on it and share your ghost stories?
Maybe I will. Maybe I will write a submission, and they'll have me on for an episode. So
I want to see it.
I will be there. Hopefully.
That's the only way. I don't like those kind of stuff, so that's the only way I will listen to it, if you're on it.
I've had a couple ghost encounters.
I've heard the ghost encounters, but
yes.
I want to hear them on a podcast.
They're unbelievable. I know, Aaron. They're incredibly unbelievable.
The one doesn't count.
Well, one of them was legit, though.
All right,
was true. It was.
I'll give
legit.
you the one, but the one where all the doors shut.
That happened. Doors.
That happens to everybody.
All the doors, all the windows shut simultaneously. No one was home. That's how do you explain that?
You lived in Missouri.
Wind.
Yeah, the wind, tornadoes.
No way. It was a spring day. It was like May or something.
Tornadoes.
Perfect weather outside. No.
Perfect weather.
Yeah.
It was a nice sunny day.
It was.
All of a sudden, the ghost decided to mess with me.
Ghosts are real, man.
You know what? This is not my pick of the week, but you know what an underrated movie is? A Haunted House with Marlon Wayans.
I've not seen that movie, but I've heard decent things about it.
It's hilarious. And then there's a Haunted House too. And you know who's in that, besides Marlon Wayans? Gabriel Iglesias.
He is really?
Yeah, it's great.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I know you love some Marlon Wayans.
I love me some Marlon Wayans.
So
he's my favorite comedian. I'll go out on
okay.
I like Kevin Hart a lot. I'm that guy. But Marlon Wayans, I like saying I like Marlon Wayans too because I feel like that usually isn't people's first pick. You know, usually when they're like, who's your favorite comedian? It's some, Kevin Hart or like some run-of-the-mill guy. I feel like that throws people off. And yeah, he's good.
Okay. Well, got some great picks of the week then here. Mandalorian Season 2, Spooked podcast on Apple and Spotify, wherever you listen to, and Haunted House with Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, that's my half pick of the week.
Yeah, I assume you can probably go find that some other streaming service that's out there.
Yeah, I think it's free on Prime.
There's 5 million of them out there, so if you can't find it, I have no
There's only 2 haunted houses.
No, it's like
there's
1,000
a million
streaming services.
Oh, okay.
If you can't find it on one of them, then
there is a million of those types of movies with Marlon Wayans. Though.
That is true. So.
All the scary movies.
But our episode is all about how Halloween has changed over the years, and from its ancient traditions to how commercialized it's been over the years to the trick-or-treating. We give our thoughts on how the whole celebration could be changed in the future as well. So are you ready to begin our journey into the darkness, Aaron?
Let's do it.
We are ready. All right, so we're going to start with the origins of Halloween. First off, Aaron, do you know any of the origins of Halloween, how it came to be, so on and so forth?
Enlighten me.
All right, I will enlighten you then. So Halloween evolved from the ancient Celtic holiday of Samhain. So over the centuries, Halloween transitioned from more of like a pagan ritual, from like a day of parties, costumes, jack-o'-lanterns, and trick-or-treating into kind of like the thing that it is now then. So the origin came from...
Isn't that what it is now?
Now it's a bunch of kids' candy and costumes, but before it was a very, I guess, traditionalized, superstitious celebration.
Ooh.
So the whole thing was that the festival marked the end of the harvest and the start of the new year. So the day is also said to be a time when the veil between the living and the dead was the thinnest, and when humans could communicate with those from beyond the grave.
Ooh.
So it kind of stands to reason as to why it's so centered around like ghosts, ghouls, goblins,
scary
stuff, demons, whatever it may be. And that sounded like a walker from The Walking Dead or something.
Oh, I mean, zombies are Halloween-y.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're scary.
Counts.
Most of them just sound like they got something caught in their throat, though, or something.
Yeah.
It's like a throat lodge. And it's like, I can't breathe. Help me. But it started actually back from when the time of Christ, actually, about 2,000 years ago. And it was a time of communing with otherworldly spirits, or big bonfires were held in honor of the dead as well.
Christ is my favorite ghost.
He's the only ghost.
There's Casper, the friendly ghost.
I mean, yeah, but...
There's a ghost that was shutting the doors in your house.
I mean, who knows what that could have been. Was that real? That
either
actually
one of
happened,
them
man.
Could have been either one.
I'm telling you. But in addition to honoring the dead, the Celts also believed that there was a big spiritual presence on Samhain that made it easier for Celtic priests to predict the future. So they'd build bonfires and burn crops as animals and sacrifices to the Celtic gods. The villagers would then attend the bonfires wearing costumes of animal heads and skins, which is where it's where the whole costume element came. I mean, back then they were dressing up in weird skins and animal heads.
That just smells so bad.
I mean, yeah, that would
back in those days.
That would be horrible.
And like freshly killed animal, throwing that on you.
That would be disgusting
and scary. Like you're standing around a fire wearing like.
I mean, they're doing it to survive, though. So the whole idea was for them to dress up in this kind of stuff to blend in and, I guess, not be drawn out of attention for the evil spirits that would roam Earth during Halloween, or All Hallows Eve, as they called it.
I always like these stories, back in the day when they're like, we had to ward off the spirits. I mean, the spirits, it's just crazy what are they scared of everything? They're spirits.
I mean,
like,
yeah, and spirits
everything scared them. They were like, well, if we wear this animal head, they'll be scared, or if we make noise, they'll be scared, or if we put this incense out, they'll be scared. what are they like? It's just crazy. Like,
I mean,
man
think
up,
of it
spirits.
back then. Like, they're probably just sitting by the fire and something moves or something happens, and they're like,
These are some lame spirits.
clearly
man.
it must be a giant spirit or I don't know.
But then they just did something like that and be like, whoa, oh, they're warded off. They're scared. They're not going to mess with me anymore.
I mean, I said it was a very superstitious holiday, so that's kind of where the origin of it came from.
Man, these evil spirits don't sound too evil to me.
I mean, when you're faced against like having a bad year of crops, you want to do everything you can to try and make sure you've got food to put on the table. So I guess I can understand like doing little weird things here and there to make sure your health is okay or your crops are okay or everything's copacetic for your family, because that was kind of your livelihood back in the day. So
yeah, no,
so
can't be ordering any Uber Eats.
there's no Uber Eats or Postmates or anything like that.
Postmates was you send someone out on like a horse or a cow back in those days.
Probably just riding
go
across
out there,
the land.
Go hunt me one of those buffalo, and they go out there.
I ordered the deer jerky. Where is my sauce for the deer jerky?
Not how I like my cow prepared.
You know what? You were 5 minutes late. I want my money back.
Bad review.
How would that would like the ancient Postmates or whatever?
The review is just telling the villagers about the guy who went and killed your meat, and he's like, nope, he sucks. Don't do it. Don't tell him to go out there and hunt.
That would be quite an interesting time, though. So
they tip him in like frankincense or myrrh.
I don't know what the currency was back then. Probably was more food or
frankincense and myrrh.
Frankincense and myrrh. There you go. Could have been the heads of the animals that they wore as costumes back then. Like, I'll trade you a goat head for your horse head, and
so they could wear it.
Yeah, eat it. And blend in with all of the evil spirits to not get attacked.
So maybe you're onto something. Maybe it's not scaring them. It's trying to just blend in so they don't. They're like, oh no, I'm gonna pass that. Because that's another spirit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they did. So they weren't trying to scare the evil spirits. They were trying to just stay away from them and, stay out of their way, I guess. And because there were a bunch of evil spirits would roam the earth and be like, you look pretty good.
I'd rather just have a spirit pass me instead of trying to scare it. It's kind of like a bear.
Pretty much,
I'd rather just have a bear walk by me rather than, okay, I got to try to fend this thing off. Because you might fail and then you're going to die.
I think I'd rather more scared of a bear than I am of a spirit, so...
Oh, no way.
Depends on the type of spirit, I guess, but...
You can kill a bear.
You can.
How do you
kill
a spirit?
You just got to find the original bones in the body and burn them or whatever. That's...
is that how you do it?
That's how
Is that in your Spirit 101?
Oh, I saw that in a movie, so that has to be correct if it's in a movie then, right, Aaron?
I mean, yeah.
You salt and burn the bones. That's how it's done.
Was that in The Lovely Bones?
That's how...
movie?
No, I think that was like a love story or something.
I don't know.
I'm in love with the spirit... speaking of weird love,
I thought you were going to say, speaking of being in love with spirits, Ron Artest.
Oh.
Did you ever hear that story?
No, I have not.
He won't. So when he was on the Lakers, he wouldn't stay. There's a hotel in Oklahoma City, and he wouldn't stay there because he claims he got raped by a spirit. Oh. I'm not making this up.
So he pulled like a Jonah Hill from This Is the End, and
or a Ghostbusters.
Yeah, or Ghostbusters too. Yeah,
pretty much.
That would be.
Yeah, he wouldn't stay there. Like,
that's
refused, and he was like just so scared. And then I guess two other players were like confirming it. They're like, "Yeah, man, there's spirits there." But like Ron Artest was like, "No, they were like all up on me," and I was like, "No," and they just wouldn't let up.
Poor Ron Artest. Too much drugs and cocaine.
Hennessy, man. So can't be drinking the hen at the halftime.
Oh well, but speaking of like weird love things and superstitious holidays, spirit love. Back in the 17 and 1800s, the women would perform rituals on Halloween in hopes of finding their true love or their husband. So according to history, women would throw apple peels over their shoulders in the hopes of seeing that their husband's or future husband's initials, and they would competitively bob for apples at parties. So that's kind of where the whole thing of bobbing for apples came from, if you're ever done that at a Halloween party or, I don't know.
So they like peeled an apple and they threw the peelings over the shoulders.
So they would throw the apple peelings over their shoulders, and that's one of them where they would hope to see their initials.
In just the mess.
Yeah, I guess in the mess or whatever.
Hey, there's a.
And then they would.
There's an E.
there's a C and a D and something that makes sense. Let's go with
Good
that.
enough.
But the other one would be they would competitively bob for apples at parties, and then the winner would be the first one to marry. So if I don't know if your fiance was bobbing for apples and she won, then she would be the first to marry out of her friend group or whatever. So
I like that. We need to bring that back. A little friendly competition.
The courting session of bobbing for apples, or just bobbing for apples and just
no
the
courting
competition? Oh, the courting.
Yeah,
so like,
just
that's how dating is done then.
Yeah, get a little competition in there.
That would be.
It'd be like a game show. I mean, they would probably turn it into a game show then.
They probably would.
I mean,
the Bachelorette.
There you go. I was gonna say
bobbing for apples.
Isn't that
edition.
Basically the Bachelor and the Bachelorette?
I'm pretty sure that's it.
And they have them do dumb, stupid games.
That is that. Yeah.
MTV's done it before. VH1
I was watching The
shows.
Bachelorette recently, and
God
they had to
rest
do
your soul,
some.
Man.
Yeah, I know.
I had to watch like 10 minutes of it yesterday.
Oh,
I don't. It's on like the 20th season.
Yeah,
Why?
it's like they never end seasons.
I don't. Okay,
like,
I watched some trash TV. I'll admit, I watched stupid reality shows, but come on, I just don't understand. Like, especially hey guys out there, stop watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Like, you're losing your man card. Like, come on, let's
they lost
be
their
a
man
little
card
man.
Long time ago.
I mean, I know I watched Selling Sunset,
but it's not a
I
dumb
listened to
game show.
Kesha and
like...
Carrie Underwood. I get it. I'm not the manliest guy out there. I'm not. I'm not Nick Offerman or anything out here. But that guy, by the way, is like the manliest guy in the world. You know, Nick Offerman.
Yeah,
Ron Swanson.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah,
the guy who loves steak and cigars. And all that kind of
Oh
stuff.
man, I'm so jealous when I see
I mean,
that, man.
yeah, there was
like,
some.
Stop watching The Bachelor.
There's some weird traditions that have, I guess, evolved into, I guess, our own cultures and stuff today. But
I do like that idea though of let's bring that back. Let's do that.
I'll do
like,
some bombing for apples.
some competition. Yeah, just competition
cool.
in general to find a husband. It makes it more fun than being like, I'm going to go on this dating app and try to find somebody. Like, just
I mean,
if you're having that much trouble dating, just do a competition.
I mean, yeah,
I like it.
To each their own, I guess. Whatever floats their boat, so to speak. So, but the weirdest of them all that they would do back then was the women would stand in a dark room with a candle in front of the mirror, and hopefully their future husband's face would appear. So, how creepy would that be? Like, you're
that's scary.
Standing in the bathroom, and you're just.
And
like,
what if it's like,
oh god,
what if it's an ugly guy?
I know, yeah.
It's like Michael Moore that pops up.
Can you
like,
pass? Is that when can you swipe and everything? But
swipe on the mirror.
You're ugly for weird face reflection.
Light a different candle.
Yeah.
Let's try this again.
I'll light this pumpkin spice candle. It'll hopefully bring me a nice guy.
Oh, it's John Hamm. Okay.
Okay,
good.
perfect. So yeah, that was pretty weird stuff that they had back then. But I mean, it kind of explains how certain modern day.
Did this happen?
traditions-
I mean, to keep that tradition up, someone had to be like, "Hey, I lit a candle in front of the mirror, and
I mean,
my husband came up."
I don't know if that tradition is still alive. The bobbing.
No,
for
but
apples
it had to
one
happen to
still is,
someone,
but
or they claimed it did.
probably.
Isn't that?
It was probably somebody just did it, and then I
bet they ate like mushrooms.
They saw
or
a
something.
spirit or something, and were like, "That's gotta be my future
I think they were
husband."
eating weird stuff, and then they were like hallucinating, and they're like, "I saw my husband."
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
That's how the Celts talk.
The Celts and the Irish were kind of weird back then.
The Celts
so.
have southern accents.
Yes,
I saw him.
He was right there. But the Irish were actually the ones who popularized the jack-o'-lantern during Halloween. So they would carve pumpkins into weird shapes and faces and stuff, and that would be used to ward off other evil spirits or to make sure that they blended in with all of the chaos that was happening on Halloween then. So the jack-o'-lantern is still around, and I love carving pumpkins for Halloween.
Do you
It's
carve
great.
mean pumpkins, or you carve happy pumpkins?
Always something scary, very classic traditional ones. I tried to do like the really advanced ones you can trace in the kits and everything. And
oh, yeah.
I got one where I did it was like a spider with in the moon.
Oh, so you don't do faces, you do like pictures.
I'll do faces too, but
okay.
The one year I tried to go really all out, it didn't go very well, and it
what were you trying to do?
It was like a spider in the moon, and then there was like a witch or something over there, and it was a really cool picture, but I couldn't pull it off.
You just got to keep it simple. Just do the triangle eyes.
Yeah,
the
that's
mouth,
probably what I'm
the
gonna do
nose.
this year.
Yeah,
nothing too crazy.
Don't stress yourself out. Don't work too hard. It's a pumpkin.
Nah. So fast forward a few centuries then, and even more changes come up with Halloween as it progresses. This is when the Christian influence comes in, with several Christian popes attempting to replace the pagan holidays like Samhain and events of their own design. So by it was about 1000 AD, Halloween was Halloween is still All Hallows Eve, but the day after was named as All Saints Day, All Souls Day.
Oh.
So it's to, I guess, honor the dead, so to speak.
So it's like Day of the Dead in Mexico.
Kind of, yeah, pretty much. So it was a time to pray for the souls of the dead, and All Saints Day was the day after to honor all of the saints as well. So obviously the church came in and tried to Christianize.
Took 1,000 years.
Took 1,000 years, and
they made their way.
I mean, they commercialized the holiday as a as a religious holiday, or tried to put their stamp on it, so to speak. But
Christianizing everything.
I always had All Saints Day off school when I was growing up.
Oh, because you went to Catholic school.
Went to Catholic school, yeah. Benefits of going to a Catholic school is you got a couple extra holidays off every year.
I love it because, you get all these holidays, and you're like, well, I don't know what this is, but sure, I'll take it. Like,
I mean, yeah, it was fun. Like one year I just...
Isn't there a Holy Thursday? That's like a holiday, right? Isn't that
Holy Thursday?
around Easter?
Yep, Easter. We always had Holy Thursday and Easter Friday off, and Easter Monday off as well. And then, All Saints Day, we had that off the day after Halloween, too. So, always a great time when Halloween's on a Thursday. You get a 3-day weekend. Up perfectly. So, that's what the church did, though. So,
of course they did.
Yeah, crazy church.
Crazy Catholics.
I mean, the Catholic Church has done some crazy things in their day, so
I'd say so. I'd say that's a safe, safe thing to say.
And as a Catholic,
some good, some bad, along the way, along the past couple thousand years.
Crusades. Sorry, I had a slight cough in my throat.
I was going to say something else, but
let's. This is a family-friendly podcast.
Oh, okay,
Aaron.
okay.
Yeah. Despite
I don't know if the Crusades are that family-oriented, though. Just casually killing people.
That's true.
And pillaging.
Not the greatest of things. But moving on, Aaron, we're getting away from the religious focus of Halloween, and the Old English were kind of it was like the whole thing where Halloween kind of was created and took place then. It was a big time of associating things with the wandering dead. So the thing where the candy came from. What's that?
Is the wandering dead like the Walking Dead?
Yes.
They're just lost.
They're lost, yeah. They're like...
The Walking Dead know where they're going. The Wandering Dead are like...
I died like 500 years ago.
And then don't even deal with the Meandering Dead, because, they really don't know where they're going. They're going to stop and ask for directions.
There was a donkey farm like 5 minutes away from here. That was like 500 years ago. Come on, what are you doing? No.
Maps aren't... Countries are different.
Nah, the Old English would put out gifts and food to please the spirits. And so as time wore on, people would dress in scary costumes in exchange for treats themselves. A practice that they called mumming, not mummying, but mumming, which is similar to today's trick-or-treating then. So that's kind of where the whole tradition of trick-or-treating came from, is getting gifts from others to get good fortune or to, again, ward off evil spirits and the wandering dead. I gotta stay away from those guys. Those are bad folks.
Just wandering around to get food.
It's just wandering around. Well, if you're dead, do you really need food? I mean, I guess if you're a zombie then.
You need brains.
But yeah, trick-or-treating didn't really skyrocket until the 1950s, actually. So Halloween became a true national event, and now, about $10 billion is spent on Halloween decorations and costumes and candy.
I just can't believe that
all that kind
started
of stuff.
in the 50s. That's so recent. Like, what were they doing? I mean, as you're saying, they started this stuff 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago. How come in the 1800s they weren't trick-or-treating, or the 20s? I think
in like the 50s and 60s you probably saw like the biggest cultural progressive shift in, I don't know, ever up until that point. And so people were like, well, we can commercialize this random Celtic holiday and now turn it into a cash grab for a bunch of businesses and stuff. And so all the candy companies and probably
costume companies.
Yeah, all the farmers are like, I could sell my pumpkins for something other than pumpkin pie or whatever.
Yeah, think about that.
This is perfect.
Think of how many things that don't get sold the rest of the year get sold on Halloween. Costumes, pumpkins,
more candy.
A lot more candy.
Yeah, a lot of sweets as well, like cakes and cookies and pies and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure a lot of decorations. And,
corn.
Candy corn.
All that
candy corn is the worst kind of candy.
Oh,
so
I'm glad candy corn's disgusting.
Candy corn.
It's just old people food, you know?
But the term trick-or-treating was actually first like put together, like the trick or treat thing was put together in a Peanuts comic book strip. So it was said loosely in one of the comic book strips back then, and people kind of put it together. It was like, oh, trick or treat.
So Charles Schultz invented trick-or-treating. Is that what you're saying?
In a very roundabout way, I
also,
guess, yeah.
Did you have to do a trick or... I'm curious. Did you have to do a trick or you can just give me a treat? So it's like, hey, I'll show you a trick, or you can just give me a treat and I'll go away. Is it like that?
I never had to do a trick. I always had to tell a joke when I was
the St. Louis
candy.
Guys, I don't get that.
St. Louis was a little strange.
That's interesting.
But
I think that's the only place in America they do that.
You never had to tell a joke?
No, I never heard of that till I was in St. Louis.
Really?
Never heard of it in my life. I didn't understand it. I was handing out candy one year, and kids were doing that, and I was like, what? Like, they're like, you can ask me a joke? Or they're like, I have a joke, and they would just say it. And I'm like, why are you telling me a joke? I didn't understand.
That's really weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, the
St.
Louis
St.
was
Louis.
Just one of those things.
It's like toaster ravioli.
Hey, toaster ravioli is one of the greatest
St. Louis
things ever
style
created,
pizza.
though. So, yeah, just pass on St. Louis style pizza.
You're not a true St. Louis.
That's the scary part. So, I better watch out for that.
I will never understand that. Worst take, coldest take I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, so is their pizza. So, haha.
Oh.
Here's some interesting facts about Halloween, though. So Halloween was once so dangerous in certain cities that they considered banning it, which is might be a little surprising. But Halloween's the one day of the year when people's, I guess, inhibitions are let loose and dark sides are released, and they kind of were like, "That's Halloween. I can go crazy," or be
because people become werewolves. And
zombies. Vampires and ghosts and whatever, and people just tend to be more violent on Halloween, apparently.
That too.
And, violence and vandalism and pranks and all that kind of stuff. Drinking and just an excuse to just do a night of debauchery.
I find that funny how it is kind of like Mardi Gras a lot in a way when you think about it, because you, as a kid or as an adult, you eat a ton of candy and you don't even care. You're just going to eat all the candy you want. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to college and kind of as an adult, you're like, oh, I can drink a lot. It doesn't even matter. Like, it's a holiday, It's just all excess.
Us Americans love to just
find any reason to eat and drink as much as they can.
I mean, I'll take it too. It's just, I can justify eating candy.
It's an Irish holiday, huh?
I am like 1% Irish or less. I don't know, somewhere around
there.
So
then that way, like, when you get really drunk, you're just like, hey, I'm Irish.
Yeah,
it's in my blood.
Irish.
Or if you get into a fight, you're just like,
it's in my blood.
I'm Irish. I can't help it.
Yes, so that's some cities considered banning it because people got a little bit too rowdy on Halloween, but it's just how it goes, I guess.
That's how you gotta
sometimes.
be, though.
It's Halloween, so
you gotta have fun.
Yeah, people gotta have fun. But another interesting fact is because the Celts believed that the barrier between the worlds was breachable during the event, they prepared offerings to be left outside villages for fields, the fields of fairies, as they called it. So, I guess that's more of a... You're laughing about the fairies part, too, I know.
I am.
But fairies, that's more, I guess, basis as to where the candy part came in, and... I mean, we did a thing called back then in my subdivision that was called phantoming people. So you would ring somebody's doorbell and you would leave some candy or treats or whatever at their door, and you leave a note like you've been phantomed, and then they would have to go around and do it to somebody else, but you wouldn't know who it was. Like, you try and guess in the cul-de-sac, like, oh, are you the one that phantomed me? Or...
And I'm still trying to wrap my brain around this.
Yeah, so it was just a fun little thing we did in our
So I would go to you.
Mm-hmm.
I would give you candy on your doorstep.
Yes.
I'd put a note that said, you've been phantomed.
Yep.
Then you would have to go do that to someone else?
Yep. That's how it would
Do I watch you go do this?
No, so it would be like totally anonymous.
Then what's the fun?
Just
I don't know you actually
getting your doorbell rung.
I also
getting
gave
free
you
candy.
my candy.
Well,
I don't want to give you my candy.
It's the whole traditional thing of like, it was fun,
It sounds
trying
like,
to guess. Like, you at school the next day, you'd be like, "Oh, did you phantom me?" Or "I bet it was you," or "I bet it was so and so," or going around and seeing.
But it's not even like a prank. It's not like, "Oh man, you TP'd my house." Like, I'm trying to guess who did it.
It's like a ding dong.
It'd be like, no, but you're giving the person candy.
Well, sometimes people would do it and they wouldn't give candy, so that would be kind of like a joke and be like, it was like a true ding dong ditch, and you would think, "Oh, am I going to get phantomed?" But then you'd be like, there's nobody around. Who was that? And then you try and run outside and try and track down who it was if they're not hiding very well. Or
is this only your neighborhood?
I mean, it was probably only in our neighborhood, so maybe it was in other people's neighborhood. Maybe it's just a St. Louis thing. I don't know.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. We've got some weird holidays and traditions and stuff. Not holidays. We got some weird.
We have odd holidays.
We have
just our holidays.
Yeah, we got some weird traditions in St. Louis. So, you ever had any Halloween traditions that you guys did in Minnesota?
Play in the snow? No, I'm kidding.
Is it snowing on Halloween?
No, it usually isn't. It's only been a couple times in my life it has. No, I don't think so. Nothing specifically Minnesotan that I know, but maybe I'm just a bad Minnesotan.
I think you're just a bad Minnesotan.
I'm just not.
Get some of them there walleye and jelly donuts and mix them together there. Have a walleye jelly sandwich.
If I was from North Dakota, that'd be a great accent.
I know my accent is very not Minnesotan, but
Fargo. Everyone has seen the movie Fargo, and then they do that accent from it.
Oh, Minnesota. Oh, man. A couple more facts that are interesting about Halloween. The colors orange and black came from the colors of the leaves changing, the decoration of the pumpkins, the results of the fall harvest for orange, and then the color black came from nighttime. It's getting darker earlier for longer times. Evil, death, all of the creepy stuff that we've talked about. So that's where orange and black came from. And I think it's a great color combination, too. I love the orange and black color combo.
It. Yeah, it's distinct. You know it's Halloween. You know it's fall.
Yeah, I mean, what's coming up, and I don't know. I'm all about the orange and the black color combo.
Kind of ruined it though for orange and black clothes. Because if you wear that, people are like, oh, is that Halloween?
Or you're like
I guess it's like Christmas.
You're like an inmate or something.
Yeah, or that too.
And
they love orange and black.
And don't confuse orange and black with orange is the new black. I thought that was a pretty funny joke. Not a very good show, but good joke. So
you watched it?
I've seen a couple episodes. It's not that great. Have you seen it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, well,
you shouldn't watch it. You know what else? Orange and Black show that's on Netflix that you haven't gotten a good chance.
Oh no, I think I know where this is going.
Hubie Halloween.
Oh no, kid, no, not again.
Oh man, you didn't think it was coming. Oh, it's coming.
Oh my god, that
Hubie Halloween is a great movie.
That movie's so bad.
Go check it out.
That
on
movie's
Netflix
so
now.
bad. We're gonna have this argument until the day we die.
Yeah, because
we're gonna be like 95.
It's the new. You know why? Because it's the new Halloween traditional movie.
No.
Every year on Halloween, I'm watching that.
It's the worst
and I'm gonna
movie
laugh every
of
year.
all time.
All time?
I'm taking that back to my grave.
Okay, come on. Adam Sandler. It's not even the worst Adam Sandler movie.
I mean, I've only seen 10 minutes of it, but the first 10 minutes were just enough for me.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Nah.
You gotta finish it.
Maybe I'll give it another chance.
We're watching it on Halloween. I'm doing it. It's happening.
Yeah, I need lots of alcohol in my system then to make that happen. So maybe it will be
and
funny.
then you'll start laughing at it. You'll be like,
yeah,
oh,
maybe
what?
It'll be funny if I'm like super drunk or something. And
I mean, it probably will be funny. But I was stone cold sober and I enjoyed every minute of it.
I can't.
It just gets you in the spirit.
I can't get on the Hubie Halloween. Oh man. Let's talk about something a little bit more fun. Is your favorite Halloween memories then?
Oh.
I'll share with you why Halloween is the best holiday. But do you have any favorite Halloween memories?
Yeah, that's a controversial take
from back in the day.
Favorite Halloween memories. I would say I like haunted houses. Those are that's my favorite. Just doing the haunted houses, being scared. There was one specific one I went to where a guy had a chainsaw and he actually chased the people.
Oh, that's great. Those are the best haunted
houses.
And
it was different buildings, so you had to go in and out of the buildings, and it was cool because you'd go out of a building and you're like, okay, we're safe. We're going into the next one, and they'd chase you into the next building.
Those are the best haunted houses and stuff.
It was good.
I went to one in St. Louis. It was the Lemp Brewery.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They did that as well.
That's a haunted brewery, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's supposedly actually haunted.
You can pay to stay the night. Right?
Yeah, and the owner or one of the owners or somebody, I don't know, I think it was one of the owners, hung themselves in one of the towers up there. And I did a ghost tour as well. And they say that, his spirit can be seen walking his dog or up in the tower and the lights are still on, even though there's literally nothing up there and stuff. So it is actually pretty creepy with some of the I guess, firsthand experience that some of these people have had.
Yeah, I did the Lemp Brewery, or I did the Lemp Brewery, or the Lemp Haunted House, or whatever it's called.
The Lemp Brewery.
Is it the Lemp Brewery Haunted House?
It's the Lemp Brewery, but they've turned it into a haunted house.
Okay, yeah. I did that. Gosh, probably 9 years
back in college
ago.
or something.
Yeah, I think it had to be like 9 years ago.
Yeah, there was a dude who with a
Solid.
chainsaw that came up and was like scaring people in line and everything.
Yeah,
and people I were with were just like freaking out. I was like, oh, this is great. I love this.
I love haunted houses because it really, like, usually, see, I'm not like you where I love Halloween. I like it. It's fun.
Right.
But I feel like when I go to a haunted house, it really puts me in the spirit. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like half, ooh, it's going to be suspenseful and scary. And the other half's like, oh, this is fun. You kind of get that kid-like excitement.
It's an adrenaline
again.
rush. And
yeah, and
too.
it really puts me in the spirit. So then leading up to Halloween, I'm like, I'm really ready for it.
I love Halloween. For me, it's like the most nostalgic holiday because it was truly one where my family like went all out like they did with Christmas with my... always made sure we had a costume ready to go.
The Dyshleys were the Griswolds for Halloween.
Kind of, yeah. So my mom always put out some really great Halloween decorations. We always had a great costume set up. I always went trick-or-treating. Always had, Halloween get-togethers with family or friends in the cul-de-sac and stuff. Do a bonfire around, kids would come up and just, they would take candy from pretty much 6 or 7 houses from around. So it was always like, for me, it was such a great time, and I have like some of the fondest memories from Halloween. My grandma would always have like cheesy Halloween sweaters and stuff, and all the cakes and cookies and candy and everything.
Well, when it's fall, it's just the best time of year. Weather, especially in the Midwest, it's just such a good, and I guess everywhere else too. It's just such a they got that crisp air. The air is nice and cool, and leaves, and
right.
It's just it's great.
And it's one of the only times where like you can truly become one of your favorite fantasy characters and really act it out in real life too. Like how many times do you get to be like, oh, I'm Captain America this year.
That's
or
true.
I'm Batman or something. Or I was John Elway one year for Halloween. So I was
my favorite costume ever.
Yeah, I had the cleats and the jersey and the helmet and everything for it. And
love John Elway.
I was a Pokemon character one year when I was a kid. And
which one?
Ash Ketchum.
Oh, he's not a Pokemon character.
Well, he is a Pokemon character, but he is the main. He's Pokemon, so.
Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, I was Ash Ketchum. I was a lion when I was a kid, a bumblebee one year too.
Yeah, I always like.
My parents torture me with the infant costumes that they had on me. Like, oh, look how you have little face in your little lion costume. I was a pumpkin, yes.
Oh, yeah. I was
stereotypical.
I was a Dalmatian one year.
Yep.
I think my best costume, I was the Riddler. And this was like, it's like George Clooney Batman.
Okay.
96.
So like, what's his name?
Jim Carrey.
Jim
Carrey was Riddler. Yeah. Yep, he was a Riddler.
Did you dye your hair red and everything?
No, I had a hat.
Okay.
So I think it was kind of like modeled more after the other Riddlers.
Okay.
I don't know which Riddler had a hat, but I wore a hat. But
I think they all had a hat in some way, so...
Yeah, he had red hair, didn't he?
He did have it. That was a weird take on the Riddler.
I think he was the one that didn't have a hat. But I liked Batman because I was when that version was out that year, So my mom cut out these like felt question marks.
Oh, that's
It was a very detailed, for being like 4 years old, it was a very detailed costume. But yeah, I remember we went to some party. It was kind of funny. My memory of it was at like her college. And so I don't know if it was an alumni party or what, but I just remember there was all these people. At the time, I thought they were college kids, but I was like 4, so they might have been like older. But I don't know. But everyone was like giving me props for my costume. They're like, that is awesome. That's the best costume.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so we got to go to that, and like everyone was complimenting me. And then I got to go trick-or-treating.
That's awesome.
My grandparents'
See,
neighborhood,
that's so cool, too. Like, when you really get truly recognized for, like, your costume and everything.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's a great costume.
And then when you go trick-or-treating and everyone hands you candy, and they're like, oh, I love your costume. And
yes.
That was fun.
One of my favorite costumes was actually a few years ago. If we mentioned The Walking Dead, but I was Negan from Walking Dead, the dude with the baseball bat and the red scarf.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was
you love Walking Dead.
I love.
So I'm not
Dead.
surprised.
That was by far one of my favorite costumes because I didn't have to buy anything for it. I just had
easy.
Everything lying around,
right?
And it came together really, really
Those
well.
Those are the best types.
I had some great photos with that though. So I love taking photos of costumes.
We were both gangsters too.
Yeah, we were. I was a 1920s gangster one year
Tommy
too.
gun.
That was fun, too.
Yeah.
I like getting the props and going to the Halloween store and everything, too. And
yeah.
that was some of the best times. And
I think my favorite more recent costume, because, man, college is a long time ago at this point. I'm getting old. Hugh Hefner. So
that was a good one. I remember that one,
It was very comfortable. I got to wear slippers all night.
I mean, you were in a robe, and slippers.
In a robe and slippers. It was awesome.
With chicks all over you.
I mean, naturally, right?
Just how you are. So.
I didn't need the Hugh Hefner costume for that. But, no, it was just great because how much better can it get? You get to go to a bar, rocking that.
I remember that year. I was Indiana Jones that year for Halloween.
Yeah, that
was cool.
We did the costume contest.
Oh, yeah, that's
they had
right.
to go up on stage.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Oh, that was funny. You had the whip.
I
liked
whip.
It. I cheered for you.
That's all right. It wasn't that great of a costume, but...
It was, I would say it was definitely like a college-level costume where it's like, I got this stuff laying around.
I had an old leather jacket laying around. I had some brown pants, and I just got the whip and the hat.
Weren't you like Halloween a zookeeper store last year?
I was.
Because you used a lot of the Indiana Jones costume last year.
I did. I was a safari hunter zookeeper. That was actually a cool costume.
No, you're reusing costume stuff.
No, it wasn't a reuse at all. One year I was a big game hunter, and then that other last year I was a safari one. So
it's even more similar.
No way, because one's killing animals and the other one's trying to protect them.
Okay,
two separate things, Aaron. Get on it.
Sure.
So I think our last segment for the show then will be how we think Halloween's going to change in the next, 10, 15, 20 years then. So, Aaron, do you have thoughts on how Halloween might change going forward, how we celebrate it?
I have opinions. I don't know how.
This is an opinion-based show. So.
I will say, I think it's going to change where the next couple of years people might think twice about like big gatherings. Obviously,
that's true.
I mean, that's going to be the world we live in. But like, I think specifically Halloween, we might.
So
see
like
that.
the true Halloween ragers or RIP then.
Yeah,
to those?
I don't think it's totally dead, but I think it's going to take a while to get back into that mode. I think even next year people might.
Damn,
still
if
be
I
like,
would have known that.
It's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be, well, we didn't do it last year, I don't know, or it's going to be, we didn't do it last year, we need to do it this year.
We're making up for lost time.
Yeah, but no, my things to change is put just people, everybody, I don't care what your age is, put more creativity in your costumes.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of people, I get it, if you're trying to save money, it is ridiculous to go to Spirit and buy a $50 costume to wear literally one night a year.
You're going to wear
You're going to throw it away eventually. Or it's going to sit in your closet forever and you're never going to wear it again. But come on, like, if you're going to piece together your costume, that's fine. I made my costume for like $30, $20.
Yeah, mine was like
but it's
$30 to put together.
I thought it out. If you're doing a couple costume, make it make sense with whoever you're with. Be a little creative. Put a little more thought. I just hate when people like throw on a suit. I know we were gangsters, but still, like, put more effort. If you're going to do something where it's like, well, I wear a suit, do something a little more creative. Yeah. Don't just like put on a suit and be like, I'm a politician or I'm a businessman or just one of those stupid things.
I agree.
Also, don't do something everyone else is doing that year. Like, and if you're going to differentiate it a little bit from
like
people.
How everyone was 11 from
Stranger
Things when it first came out, and that was very
but see, you could be different versions of 11.
You can
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
I'd like to see somebody do like the goth version of her at the end of season 2.
Oh wow, that's
where she's got the slick back hair and
but people have enough trouble.
I feel like that's like a well-known deep cut though.
Yeah, but people have enough trouble anyway. Like, when I was Hugh Hefner, everyone thought I was a boxer. When I was Mike from Stranger Things, everyone thought I was Justin Bieber.
That's true. Yeah,
I feel like you really need to make it obvious, but.
Yeah, like the people who have like the true
just
deep
try.
cuts.
Just we can tell if you put effort or not. One of my buddies one year is Mickey Mouse. Whatever, man. That's what you want to do.
Good costume, maybe.
You want to know how it wasn't a good costume because all he did was have a mouse hat, from Disney World, one of those hats, and the big gloves, which he had to take off because we were at a bar and he couldn't wear them to drink. That was it. That was his costume. Boo.
That's kind of lame. That's
Put
very
effort
lame.
in. Get in the spirit, people.
Well, I would hope people would do that.
So for my change, make your costumes great again. Like
make
just
your
put
costumes great again.
Put some thought into it and put a little effort into either making them or go out and spend
that'll
money
be my campaign slogan for when I run for president in 2034. whatever, 2036. Whenever
I
the
don't know.
next
when
election is going
35
to be.
years old, you're eligible. So
Yeah. They're 28 now, so I got another 7 years to go.
okay,
so,
yeah. Start
somewhere
that
around
campaign
there.
now.
So yeah, starting the campaign now. I think my changes will be more based around like technology and stuff. Then I found some really cool things that it was like this infographic online where it was detailing all the different pieces of the way technology can influence trick or treating going forward too. So like kids may use 3D printers to print off costumes instead of going to the Halloween store, which I think is kind of a dumb change because like going to the Halloween store is part of the fun.
So you're saying your change is stupid.
This particular change is dumb.
But it's yours. You just said.
Yes, but I think that could potentially, happen in the future as well.
Sounds lazy.
I mean,
make
it is
your own costume.
Yeah, like that's like the fun of putting together your costume. And
I hope we don't
searching
get
for
to.
stuff.
I don't think we will, but I hope we don't get to that point where we're like, oh, I'm just gonna print everything off.
That would be super lame.
Yeah, like
I mean, it'd be very convenient, but
but
kind of take the whole fun out
too much
of
of
it.
a convenience is a bad thing.
But mobile apps will probably show like locations of houses who are open to trick or treating or open
That's a good
to
idea.
having like I guess people in costumes.
It's nothing
come
worse
by.
when back in the day when we were trick or treating and you go to a house and you think they're there and they're not there.
I know,
Like,
right? But, like the lights are on and you go up and like, hello, trick or treat, and nobody would come. And
Or
then,
people that have the lights off and then they are there.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
My parents would never let me go to a house that didn't have any of the lights on.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically a stay away.
Yeah.
But I've seen where people will do that just like, I guess so. Some people, they don't use their front rooms. So
That's true.
Then they're like, it just looks like it's off.
See, at my house, we had all the lights on and everything.
Yeah, you got to keep them on.
Yeah, like everything was going in, 6 bowls of candy.
You had the
and stuff,
decorations. Oh, also, I have another change. I'm throwing this out there. I forgot about this. People, if you're going to hand out candy, stop with the bowl that says, please take one.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
Either hand out candy or don't hand out candy.
Yeah.
That's not, number one, that's stupid. They're kids. They're greedy. They're going to take everything. But also, come on, like, again, back to effort. Let's get in the spirit here.
And if you're handing out anything other than, like, the good candy, stop wasting my time. Like, Jawbreakers and candy corn and, stupid
apples.
Sweet Tarts or, apples or anything.
I had a lady in my neighborhood. I liked it when I was a kid, but now that I think about it, I'm like, that was super lazy and kind of weird. This specific flavor, wild cherry Pepsi.
That was very random flavor.
Number one, really weird. Why? And also, like, that's just strange to hand out Pepsi. Number two, talk about lack of effort. Oh, I just bought a 36-pack of Pepsi, and there you go, kids. Like, come on.
I know, like, all the people...
I thought it was cool, though, because it was like, no one ever did it.
You get a free Pepsi.
And it was sugary stuff with more sugary stuff. But now looking back, I'm like, nah, poor
people
effort.
are really paranoid that, like, the food that's handed out are going to be, like, poisoned or something like that.
It was like a 90s thing.
Yeah.
It's funny. There's a video. So my grandpa was a cop. And this is probably why he said this, but there was a home video of me when I was like 2 or 3, and we're going through our candy, and he was like, make sure you check, and that's how he is. Like, he's like, make sure you check that. I'm going to check this for you, and he would like open up the wrap. My
mom would do that too.
Yeah, my mom's like, Dad, they're all wrapped up.
Right.
They're fine. They're sealed.
We got hot dogs from one house like every year. The dude would just give out hot dogs.
Was it like grilling?
Yeah, he was just grilling hot dogs, and he'd be like,
that seems
hey,
inconvenient, though, because you got to put it in a bag.
No, because he would like literally be right out there. And he'd be like, he would just grill hot dogs for like 4 hours that night. So he'd go up into the driveway and be like, hey, instead of candy, how about some hot dogs? Be like, all right, cool, I'll take 2 hot dogs.
It's like the guys out in Uptown back in the day, and they used to they have the grills.
Yeah,
you don't know if they're homeless or not.
Grills,
They come out of the bar and they're like, "Hey, you guys want some hot dogs?" They're selling dogs.
I mean, that was like our go-to. We would like go like halfway trick or treating and then go to that house. We had hot dogs. It was like in the middle, and then we'd have enough energy to keep going for the rest of the night. So
hot dogs just
give
you the feel you need.
I love hot dogs, so
I do. I mean, I don't know if I'm trick or treating though.
I don't know.
Interesting.
A couple other things I had was there's like everybody's got smartwatches and stuff on their wrists now, and so there'll be devices that monitor kids' safety from afar with like health tracking apps. How bad would it be for the kid though if they're like monitoring how much candy they ate, and the mom would be like, "Oh, you're done. You can't eat more candy or something."
No,
like
that's
like,
not in the Halloween spirit.
It's like the one day of the year where like you have to eat as much as you can in terms of candy. Like if you're not throwing up from sugar, then you're not doing it right. So get it together, folks. One might be cool is like virtual reality might enhance like haunted house tours and stuff. So if like you're in, I guess like I don't know, haunted house and there's like virtual projections and stuff going around, or to enhance like the decorations and everything.
Oh, that would be good for like ghosts.
Yeah.
You know, to get people to look like ghosts and like spirits flying
truly
around.
get the whole ghost feel.
I like
going
that.
down.
I like that.
Another one I had was sensors will help manage traffic and kind of divert, cars away from pedestrians and stuff, and hopefully don't run over kids and trick-or-treaters.
Smart.
And
safety first.
Also to alert authorities in case there's some Halloween pranks going about. I don't know, throwing eggs or TPing or
the authorities
doing bad stuff. I guess
that's why that's the night for that stuff, though. So
as long as you're not doing violent stuff or whatever, or I don't know, major property damage.
Major property
damage.
A little minor property damage never hurt anybody.
Yeah, you said it, not me. So those are my changes for Halloween. Those are our changes for Halloween. Yeah, so
like it.
If you liked what we talked about in this episode, our very first Halloween special, we want to continue the conversation afterwards. Hit us up on Twitter, on YouTube, and every social media to let us know what your thoughts are as well. What are your favorite Halloween memories, and why is Halloween the best holiday? What's the future of trick-or-treating, and if you think technology will play a role, and how do you think Halloween traditions will change going forward? Share with us your thoughts on our social handles, and email us as well.
Send us your costumes.
Send us all of your costumes.
Genuinely curious what people are going to be and what people are doing. I want to know.
Yes.
Send them over.
I'm very, very eager to see this year's costumes, and share with us how you're celebrating Halloween. Are you, do you have kids? Are you going trick-or-treating, or are you keeping it low-key, or are you just saying, screw it, I don't care, and just
like a Halloween like anyone
just
else,
playing Russian roulette with the Rona? So I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, there's some people who are going to do that, and that's the biggest trick or treat of them all. So
yeah, kind of like the World Series
yes.
last night.
Yep.
just to casually announce that one of the players had a Rona, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to pull it out mid game,"
and he's celebrating with the players,
running around the field. Like, hey, I also have a bone to pick here. Magic Johnson, wear your damn mask, bro.
What
are you doing? What are you doing? Did you see this?
I saw this.
The man, and no one ripped on him.
Of course, because
the man is immune compromised, and he's in the stands, not social distancing, and not wearing a mask. What are we doing here?
You got me, man.
Come on.
Somebody should play Magic Johnson wearing a mask this year as a true fictional element for Halloween. So that's a great costume.
Just wear a fat suit.
Yep, true deep cut as well. So
yeah, that's a real. What are you? Are you Magic Johnson? Yeah, Magic Johnson from the World Series. You know, when he didn't, what he should have done when he wasn't wearing a mask. Yeah, this is him wearing a mask.
It's the most fantasy-filled costume of them all.
That would be like something I would do.
That would be hilarious.
Where I have to just keep explaining it
all. Check us out on Twitter at Weekendology Pod, though. Check out our sports handle at Weekendology Sports, and our entertainment handle at Weekendology Ent or ENT. Check us out on YouTube as well. We've got a YouTube channel up there. You can listen to all of our podcasts there as well. You can email us too if you want to partner with us, or if you want to come onto the podcast. We've got an email. Yeah, we'll have you on. We're at weekendologypodcast@gmail.com as well. And speaking of baseball, check out our last episode where we talk about minor league changes for baseball. So it's a great episode, and it's our landmark 50th episode.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So it is a very big milestone in the Weekendology.
I'm really curious
family.
too, just how this off season now that baseball's officially in their off season, how that's going to work with the minors. Like, when are the minors coming back? How are they going to come back?
Yeah,
because I mean the MLB has their own problems now to figure out, but the minors has a lot of problems, and how is the MLB going to help?
Yeah, it poses an interesting question for sports going forward.
Yeah.
And
but that's why you should go listen to that episode.
Exactly.
We get into all
that.
that.
Yeah, we give you all sorts of great changes, cover some great stuff from around the MLB and the MILB. So go check it out as well. It's up on Apple for your viewing pleasure. Let's see. What else do we got here? That's pretty much it. Got to give a shout out to Big Red World as well. Our Halloween special is brought to you by Big Red World. They're on Big Red Social, and their website is bigredworld.org as well. I've got another last tidbits before we close this off. Our Halloween special comes to an end.
It does, sadly.
Sadly comes to an end. We want to thank everybody.
Chris Motionless of Motionless in White.
Oh, yes.
The king of Halloween. His dead stream is tonight. Actually, I should say Motionless in White's dead stream. Not just his. His dead stream is tonight. It's probably going on right now, but go if they have any replays. I'm sure they have links where you can go watch it again. Go check that out.
All right,
I'm going to and get yourself in the Halloween spirit.
Oh, he is Mr. Halloween.
Get it?
So.
Get it? Not live stream, dead stream.
I got it, Aaron.
Oh, okay. I thought that it took me. It
was clever. It was clever.
When they came out with that, I was like, a dead stream. What is that? I had to think. The Cody Bellinger meme that's going around. That was me. Well, that's always me, but that was definitely me. And I kept seeing it. I'm like, oh, and then I was like, oh, that's great. That is.
I thought I told some bad jokes this podcast, but trick or treat, Aaron.
Does that make them old? They're throwing out the dad jokes.
Yes,
but hey, it's a Halloween dad joke.
It is a Halloween. I'm all about the dad jokes now. So. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker. We're up on Amazon Music as well.
Shout out Bezos.
Shout out Jeff Bezos as well. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this week. We've got new episodes every Friday, so until then, don't let the creatures of the night get to you, and have a happy Halloween.